Stacy and Amanda told us what the theme was going to be, I got really excited because I really do love St. Louis, and I'm always telling people back home about it. So last month I was trying to rack my brain about some story about Chester Ravioli or Slitting on Art Hill or Shakespeare in the Park or Ted Cruz or something, and I couldn't come up with any good anecdotes about that. So I started thinking about more substantial reasons why I love this city, and eventually my train of thought worked back to the love that I had when I first came to this city in 2007. So the summer after college, I loaded up my 98 Grand Prix with all of the earthly possessions I could manage, bid farewell to the family and boyfriend, and started the 10-hour trek from Metro Detroit to St. Louis. Go Detroit! Okay. St. Louis, I love St. Louis. And what I told people back home when I was leaving was that I was moving to St. Louis for 3 years to teach high school science in the city, and I'd be getting my master's degree while I was there. What I didn't tell people was that I actually had a much longer timeline in my head. See, my actual plan was, yes, I would be here in St. Louis for 3 years. And meanwhile, my long-term boyfriend really was planning on finishing school and going to the Peace Corps, which would mean that in 3 years we'd be able to both move back to Michigan, spend a year planning the wedding, a year later get married, then we'd move to New York City where the seminary he wanted to go to was, and I'd rock the public school system there, be like a low-budget sugar mama type, while he went to seminary studying to be an Episcopal priest. And that would probably be like a 3-year program, and then they'd place him at some church and we'd go wherever. And so by 2015, we could have our first kid. But if you want to make God laugh, tell me your plans for tomorrow, right? So first things first, I have to drive to St. Louis. And I made it there. I'm here. And so I ditched the car with my mom's cousin and the pair, and spent the first week with other teachers to be at this hotel, getting oriented to things and desperately trying to find people to live with and some place to live with them. And then we all flew out to LA, where they tried to cram 4 years of teacher training into 5 weeks. And then, let's see, the teacher training ended Friday, flew back to St. Louis Saturday, got the keys to the apartment Sunday, moved in Monday, started new teacher orientation Tuesday, and then things got busy. And so then the kids came, and I was fruitlessly, frantically trying to convince them that I had some idea what I was doing, and finally that first weekend came. So there I sat on Grand, which was one of the few streets I knew how to get to, at not Panera, but St. Louis Bread Company, as I had learned. And so I was there with my laptop, kind of like staring totally in over my head, totally fried, trying to write this lesson plan. When Reprieve came, my boyfriend sent me a Skype message and said we're doing little niceties, and yeah, it's really hot here and humid, and you know, I don't know. But probably it was, right? And then he said, you know, I don't really know how to say this. I've been thinking about it a lot this summer, and I just don't see a reason to believe in God anymore. And my heart plummeted to the pit of my abdomen, because if you can imagine like a loved one, like the love of your life, like alone in the middle of outer space, without any support, any means of getting themselves to solid ground, and like you zoom out the camera, no matter how far you zoom out, they're just alone in empty space. That was how I pictured his situation. So it was just devastating to see a loved one separated from God when you come from the Christian tradition where it's all about this personal God. And I have been living on a prayer quite literally for the past couple months because, you know, it was insane. And so, you know, so at first we were kind of talking philosophy, but finally had to get to the inevitable, which I knew that he knew, which was that I had friends of all sorts, but I needed a partner who could have my back spiritually. And no matter how great a guy you are, you can't support someone spiritually if you don't believe in the spiritual. So we broke up, and it was really overwhelming, and I like mourned for like 24 hours, and then I had to quit thinking about it because I had 170 kids to teach the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. But one thing that I did have to do was update my roommate on the situation, because she knew that I had a boyfriend and that we'd been talking. And I was dreading telling her more than you might think, because, because all along I'd heard too many stories of people saying, yeah, I heard they broke up. He broke up with her because she wasn't the same religion as him. Or, yeah, they broke up because she doesn't go to church, or he doesn't go to church, and things like that. And, you know, like it was like an ethnic purity thing that people were breaking up. And I was really worried that my roommate would believe this. And I was afraid of that because we were really getting along well. I mean, we'd only been living together a few weeks, but I liked her, and I wanted her to like me, and I didn't want her to judge me, and I was afraid she would, because she was, you know, from Oregon. Her family religion was bike riding. She was from the left coast and an amazing person, but I was just dreading that she was going to think that I was a naive, good-hearted but naive, like religious bigot type, and so I was trying to figure out how to frame this in a way that she wouldn't look down on me, honestly, and so I said, yeah, my boyfriend, well, he doesn't believe in God anymore. And she just said, oh, Erin, I know how important your faith is to you. I'm so sorry. And it was this big relief. She got the situation, she got me, she understood me. And I have to tell you, my first 6 months in St. Louis were like horribly, clinically, depressingly miserable. And if I wasn't living with someone who got me, I wouldn't have made it through. But that day, the foundation of our friendship was really solidified, and that was the first real friendship I made in St. Louis. But then the other thing that the breakup did was it changed how I looked at St. Louis. The way I see it, you can fall in love with a vacation place, and you can have a great fling with someone you know you'll never see again. But there is a limit to how much emotional investment you will make in people when you're planning to leave them. And if I had spent 3 years in St. Louis planning to leave St. Louis, then I probably would have gone to the Arch, but I wouldn't have signed up for Big Brothers Big Sisters and brought my little to the Arch. I probably would have made it to the zoo, but I wouldn't have become a surrogate auntie to some Afghan kids and brought them to the zoo. I hopefully would have found out about Guido's on the Hill and McGurk's and Ted Drew's and all these awesome places, but they wouldn't have been the site for investing in these like real solid relationships with people. And so that's what I think is cool. When my big beautiful timeline got shattered, my heart had permission to get intertwined with other hearts in this city, and that's why I love St. Louis, and Ted Drew's helps too. Thank you.